You guys a little installation video. It's more of an explanation than an installation. I have as everyone, or if you have been watching my channel, I recently finished working on a 2003 Chevy Duramax. It is the LB7. It's a 2500 HD. It's a fully loaded version, so I have the Bose sound system in here. Reason I'm talking about the sound system is because obviously because it's an older truck or older vehicle. It does have an older head unit here. So as you can see, this is the old head unit. It does have the CD player. Like I said, it is the Bose sound system, or Bose, yes, Bose sound system in the vehicle, Bose head unit, blah blah blah. But yeah, I went ahead and I removed the dash. That's fairly easy. You just bring the steering wheel down, put the shifter column all the way down, and then just pop this bezel out, pop out of, you know, this whole area. And then once you get to the stereo, it's going to be 3 7mm screws. You're going to pull the stereo out, and then you're going to have one connector, this one right here. So this one's kind of a pain to get out of the stereo, out of the factory stereo. You're gonna press on this tab and the tab behind it, and you're just gonna kind of shimmy it out until it falls out, or you're gonna keep shimmying on it until you're able to pull it out. There is a connector for your radio antenna, so that's a little one, so you're gonna need to get an adapter for that. I did buy an adapter. And then there's a third connection which I took behind because you won't need. There's this third harness right here is it goes on this side of the stereo. This one, like, same thing. You just kind of pull on this tab or press down on it and then shimmy it out. But since we're not going to use it, I'm just gonna shove it behind. And that was one of the things that kind of confused me, is because when I bought this harness, it only had one connector. The harness that goes to the aftermarket stereo is what I'm talking about. It only had one connector, so it kind of confused me. But yeah, I soon found out that we don't really need that. So let's get on to the harness here that connects to the aftermarket stereo. So sorry about the wiring here. I kind of got to doing this last night. Came home late from work and was running out of daylight, so I just kind of rushed it. I got everything working, so let's talk about this harness here. So because this is a GM truck, something weird about you can't just wire the radio harness, or like the aftermarket stereo harness. You can't just wire it directly to your speaker wiring. There's cars out there where you can try to figure it out, where you wire left speaker to left speaker, right speaker, and so on, power to power, and so on. Save yourself the hassle, save yourself the money. Just go ahead and get yourself a harness. So this harness right here is what is it called? This is the brand. It's called the Scosche, or Soch, I don't know how to pronounce that. So it's Scosche GM 2000 SW. Reason I went with this one is because I still wanted the door chime. Here, if I turn on, here, I'll show you in a bit. If you turn on the car and you leave your door open, without this unit, it's not gonna have the door chime. So this, along with this portion, is all in one piece. Like I said, this is it. What was cool about this harness, however, was that I didn't realize that I was going to be able to use my steering wheel controls. So when I was doing research looking into harnesses, they had one that's like $100 to $120. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, that's like $120. And the whole big deal with that unit or harness was that you were going to be able to get your steering wheel controls. However, this works just fine, and this wasn't $100. I literally, on my way home from work, stopped by Walmart and found this on the shelf at Walmart. So yeah, like I said, it was $40. So this versus a $120 harness, I'm gonna go with this. And my truck, like I said, is a 2003. So here, let's look at the back. So if you have a Duramax and you have a 2003 to 2006 or Silverado 1500 to 3500, then you should be good. Like I said, I have the Bose sound system in here and it works perfectly fine. So to connect this harness to the aftermarket stereo harness, it is really easy. You don't even have to look at the instructions. You literally wire color for color. It's, I don't know if you guys remember back, I'm a 90s baby, but early 2000s when you bought a computer or a desktop PC, everything was color coded. You literally plug everything based on the connector color in the back of the CPU. Same thing. You're gonna have, you know, your gray black wire goes to your gray black wire on there, your gray wire goes to your gray wire there, and so forth, you know, green to green, orange to orange, and so on. The only thing that you're gonna that's gonna be separate from the wiring harness is obviously gonna be your ground, and you can see right there is where I put the ground. So how I did the ground was that it's coming off of this harness as well as this harness, and I combined them together, and then I ran them to the what do you call it, to the frame or whatever, the ground basically. Another thing that I want to talk about, which I think you should buy, is this unit right here. It's this little, I don't know what it is, maybe a resistor or something. It's by the way, I'll put all these parts in the description below, that way you guys know what I purchased to make this thing work. This is, I want to say it's like a little capacitor, resistor, I would guess. So what this does is, a lot of times when you buy an aftermarket head unit, it's going to have a green wire that goes, this is the green wire, this is your green wire right here. A lot of times it's going to come with a green wire that's like super long, and the purpose of that wire is that it connects to your e-brake. And the reason for that is that because this is a double DIN head unit, by the way, this is a Pioneer MVH 1400 NEX. We'll get back to this. But because this is the double DIN head unit, I'm not sure if it's the same thing for the single DINs, but if you want to watch, like, if you have like videos that you know, obviously if this one had a DVD player in it, or if you wanted to plug in like RCA cables to the back and, you know, play video, the only way that this unit would let you play video, or if you want to like mess with the settings, I want to say, if you, depending on the head unit, anyways, basically all the functionalities that you would do while driving, it won't let you do it, because you know, they don't want you watching a movie on this head unit while you're driving your car. So they say, you know, that let's just wire that boy to the parking brake, so that way if you want to watch videos, you apply your parking brake, this receives the signal that your parking brake is applied, and boom, now you can watch videos on here. However, first thing, it's a pain to run this thing or trying to find the parking brake wire. I don't even know where the parking brake wire is on this car. I didn't bother looking at the harness for it or the wiring diagram. That's the first thing. Second thing, you know, I want to be able to get the full functionality out of this head unit, whether I'm, you know, parked, driving, or whatever. You know, for all we know, we could be in traffic, and, you know, I want to mess with the settings and all that. But yeah, so like I said, this thing was like $5. I'll put a link for it as well. Got this thing off of Amazon. You definitely should invest in one of these. That way you don't have to, like, you know, fight with this car trying to find that wire and trying to get this thing to work. So yeah, so here let's get to plugging this stuff in. Everything's plug and play. You're gonna have a 3.5 millimeter coming off of this. It's gonna come with like different wiring. It's got like ground, key 1, key 2. Depending on your head unit, you might need those, but for Pioneer, it's simple as just using this 3.5 millimeter. And on the back of the stereo, you're gonna plug it into the one that says WR. You can see right there. Here, let's see where it says WR, and I want to say that's wire remote. I guess that's what it stands for. So we're gonna plug that in. We're gonna plug the main harness in here. Oh yeah, one other thing, if you have this model truck, is you're going to need, you know, this adapter. I was talking about that earlier. So right here, vehicle antenna adapter. So what this does is it extends, first off, this antenna right here. It's not that short. I mean, people are complaining about it being short, but yeah, you can see how this one's like pretty small, and it's not going to fit in my aftermarket head unit. So what this does is it, you know, extends it first off, and then it puts a bigger one on the end. That way, whew, excuse me, guys. But yeah, that way you can, you know, fit that antenna in there. So let's get this all plugged in. Oh yeah, another thing that I did buy was it's the dash kit, the double DIN dash kit. This thing was like $9, Amazon. It's super easy. Literally, this is what you put around your stereo, your aftermarket head unit. So it's 3 pieces. It's 3 plastic pieces, 1, 2, and then 3 on the other side. And they just plug in like a puzzle. And then you just find the holes where it would best match. So mine is right there. And then you just line these up with these holes right here, and you should be good to go. But yeah, let me get this all plugged in. Sorry, I don't have my tripod. I'm just gonna get all this plugged in and then show you guys the unit functioning. All right, cool. Also, one thing I did want to cover, I'm not sure if this is the case for anything above the 2004, I believe, Duramaxes or Silverados, but if you can see in there, here, let's see. Let me get the flashlight on. If you can see in there, you can see that I cut this whole shelving out. There's a plastic piece that goes across here, and you need to cut that out in order to fit your double DIN head unit in here. I'm pretty sure you could buy shorter head units, but this is pretty standard. But yeah, in order to fit that in there, I had to cut out this shelf right here, and I cut from right there as well. This is the piece that I cut out. Kind of would look like that, just chilling in there. And you just cut it on both sides, and I just kind of yanked it out. I didn't bother trying to unscrew that screw that's in the middle right there. I don't know if you can see that. I just went ahead and yanked it out. I'm not using that piece anyways, but yeah. Alright, so for the USB that I'm going to be running from the head unit to your phone, your USB phone connector or whatever. So so I went ahead and I pulled this out. To pull it out, you literally, pretend this is still back in there. Literally try to, pry it out from here on the sides, and then you just kind of shimmy it when it falls out. Then you're gonna disconnect the 2 connectors right here, your cigarette lighters. 1 connector and then 2 connectors. Put them aside. And then I went and I grabbed myself I want to say that's a 1-inch, maybe more, drill bit, and I just kind of cut a hole in that corner, so that way, I have the wire coming out from there. And then I put it on the top, that way you can't really see the hole, because it's going to be, like that. But yeah, let's get this all installed back. Again, sorry about the crappy quality of the video. But anyways, what I went ahead and did so far is I went ahead and I installed the Bluetooth microphone. To do that, I just kind of popped this out a little bit, ran the wire down, and then on the side, I removed this this rubber seal or whatever. Just kind of pop it out just a little bit, shove the wire inside, and then you can shove it in through there. And then I removed this this cap for the fuse box, so that I can fish the wire back through out here. And I got it out here. Let's close the door, it's snowing outside. Got it out here, got it going over the speedometer, kind of shoved it back there, and then routed it over this way, and it came out through here, and now it's to the stereo. What I did with the USB connector, so you can see the USB's just hanging right there. And I got some slack if I want to pull it out. Got it going up through here, comes up here, and then I removed the climate controller. It's 2 7mm bolts, and then these tabs right here, you gotta like press them down, and it pops right out. And then just kind of ran the USB from underneath it and up through here, and here it is. Where is it at? There we go. So yeah, right now I'm just gonna get everything plugged in. I went ahead and I got the adapter for the antenna. So there's the adapter for the antenna. I'm gonna plug the USB to the USB. Got my steering wheel controls, the one that comes out of this little black box, and this is the chime, by the way. Here, let me see, where's my key at, just to show you guys that the chime does work. See, you hear it? There we go. So let's turn that back. I should turn off on its own. There you go. So I got that, the door chime / remote control. This is the microphone for the Bluetooth. speaker, or the Bluetooth, yeah, so if you want to make phone calls or whatever. And then here's your main harness. Now I'm just going to kind of shove everything back in, try to get it all organized, and show you this thing functioning. So here it is installed. Went ahead and pushed it in, got the 7mm screws in. You can see I went ahead and shifted this all the way down. Now I'm just going to pop this bezel back on. I don't know if I can do this one-handed or not, but let's see. I'll attempt it. Yeah, let me use my other hand. Alright, I'll be right back. So this is what it looks like with the dash installed. You know, like I said, you just slide the bezel back down and just kind of get everything lined up with the holes. Let's see. There we go. Put that back into place, and then you guys can see how it looks. It looks pretty good, pretty flush. I like it, you know. And I like the whole clean look of the head unit. Oh, let's see if the stereo works. Alright, so I'm not going to play any music just so I don't get sued here. So I just want to show you guys that the buttons do work. Go up in volume, down in volume, and then we could change channels. Yeah, that's that. Cool. So yeah, as always, thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments or questions or anything you want me to cover, maybe in a different video regarding the installation of my new head unit. Next is going to be a backup camera. I went ahead and bought one off Amazon. It's too cold outside to try to even mess with it, and I have no space in the garage right now. But yeah, if you guys have any questions regarding the installation, please feel free to comment below. Reach out to me. Check me out on Instagram, Backyard Pit Stop. Yeah, please feel free to DM me if you have any, questions or comments. But yeah, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. That way you stay up to date with the shenanigans here at Backyard Pit Stop. And as always, thank you for watching.